Hey Charlotte, I hope you've thought about me coming to live with you. I'm still doing well, but it's been 3 years since your father passed away. I think it's fine to start living together as soon as possible, considering the future. Good evening, mother-in-law. About living together. I'll be honest, another roommate right now would be pretty tough to accommodate. Huh? Why? Well, Carl told me that you recently quit your full-time job, and if you want to live with us, we would need you to find a new job. Why should I work if I'm going to live with my son and his wife? And what about you? Carl financially supports you. How dare you talk to me like that? I work too. Working part-time means nothing. No, I actually work full-time. Oh, come on. The reason I quit my job was in anticipation of moving in with you guys. Seriously? It would have taken me an hour to get to my part-time job from your house. You see, I had no choice but to quit. I'm sure you could have asked to be transferred to an affiliated store. Just let me move in. It's impossible for 3 people to live in that current apartment. So buy a house or condominium immediately. Or sign a lease for a larger apartment and move out as soon as possible. This is not your decision to make. The place must have at least 3 bedrooms. I don't recall agreeing to let you live with us. You can't say no. I will talk to Carl and we will decide what to do moving forward. You should just start packing up your stuff. You're being selfish. Mother-in-law, did you send a letter of resignation to my workplace without asking me? Oh good, it arrived. Yes, they received it, so it was you after all. Why would you do something like that? Now, you'll have to live with me. No, that letter of resignation was invalid. Why? Of course it would be. It's obvious that I didn't submit it myself. Generally speaking, do you know what will happen to me if I resign? Don't be upset. You can just find another job when you move. It may be difficult to find a full-time job, but you can find a part-time job anytime you want. Don't be upset. Do you think we have that kind of savings? What do you mean? I've told Carl many times, but you don't even think about earning more than you do now. I want you to think more about your future and work seriously. If you want to live with us, that's where you should start. Charlotte, were you such a terrible spender? Yes. Carl's income should be enough to live on, but it's not enough. Do you even know how much Carl makes? Of course I do. I heard it directly from him. Do you really think that with that amount of money, you and I can quit our jobs and live a normal life? Of course I do. I'm not spending money, I'm saving money. I don't think you need to save money with Carl's income. Well, mother-in-law, I feel there is a misunderstanding. Do you really know the amount of Carl's income? I told you, I heard it from him. Are you really sure you have a good understanding of finances? I should be asking you that. I consider myself to have a very decent sense of money. Oh my God, you're insane. I'll have to talk with Carl. Oh, by the way, Carl has been staying at your house, right? Yes, I asked him to stay here with me. He doesn't respond to any texts or calls from me. Why is that? Because I don't want you to interfere with steady progress of our living together arrangement. Please don't make decisions on your own. If I respected your opinion, we wouldn't be able to proceed at all. I will contact you when everything is finalized regarding moving in together. I don't want you to do that. Once we start living together, I'll put a lot of effort into educating you to be a better wife, so be prepared. Hey sis, long time no see. Can you talk? Hey Kevin, long time no see. What's wrong? I'm on my way home from an assignment. Oh, really? Well, my house was stolen. What? What are you talking about? Well, I came home this weekend to do some maintenance on my place, but it seems like someone is living there. What? I'm going to call the police and tell them about that. Yeah, I was going to do the same thing, but when I asked the neighbors first, they told me that they were greeted a week ago by someone who said, "I just moved in." They told me he was my sister's husband and mother-in-law or something. Huh? I didn't think it was possible. Before reporting, I thought it would be better to check the situation with my sister, who I gave my keys to, before I called the police. Do you have any idea where the key is? Hold on, let me check. Sorry, this is all my fault. What happened? The key I left in the safe is missing. Only Carl and I knew the code to that safe, so he must have taken it. Why on earth would he do that? Actually, my mother-in-law has been asking me to move in with her. I told her that as a condition of moving in together, she needs to continue to work. She told me that she had already quit her part-time job, and that I wouldn't have to work if I wanted to live with her. Well, I thought you were working full-time now, just barely getting by. And your mother-in-law, who doesn't have a job, wants to live with you? I tried to explain this to her, but there seems to be some kind of fundamental misunderstanding. Carl keeps going to his mother's house and ignoring my calls. I can't communicate with him at all. I see. In other words, your mother-in-law is trying to get you to move in with her, but you aren't listening. I don't know, but I guess she's been living in my house for a while now. I think they took advantage of the fact that I was away on a 3-year assignment at a local office branch. I guess that's what I'm thinking. I'm sorry, Kevin. I didn't think they would target the house you bought. It's not your fault. So, what should I do? Where are you now? At a friend's place. I've got a place where I can stay for a while. I'll be fine. I'm going to call my mother-in-law. Depending on how she reacts, the worst-case scenario is inevitable. Mother-in-law, it seems that you've moved out already. But where exactly? Hello, Charlotte. I was just about to call you. Am I correct in assuming that Carl is accompanying you to the new place? Yes, you are. You are so insane and stubborn. I decided to give you a good scolding before we move in together. I don't remember doing anything that I should be punished for. You're still talking like that. If you continue to be so selfish, I will have to consider telling Carl to divorce you. I don't remember doing anything to warrant a divorce. That's enough. Carl supports and feeds you. Huh. Are you saying Carl is supporting me? That's right. He doesn't need a wife who doesn't take care of her husband, despite him having a $700,000 monthly salary. Oh, 700,000. If you don't want a divorce, apologize honestly and agree to live with me. Of course, I can tell you where you're moving to after that. If you get down on your knees and agree to live with me, I'll tell you where to move. Demanding me to get down on my knees while on the phone? Don't tell me you want me to send you a picture of me on my knees. Yes, that's right. That's a good idea. I decline. Huh? There's no reason for me to do that. Charlotte, you really are stubborn. You don't care if Carl divorces you? I don't care. But I'm so tired of this. So you know what? It's fine. Huh? I'm fine with divorcing a husband who makes $70,000 as his salary. What? $70,000? Yes. Carl's income is $70,000. After all, it is just a part-time job. Wait a minute. What are you going to say? Carl's monthly salary is 700,000 yen. Where did you get that figure? I asked him. When I asked him about his monthly income, he indicated 7 with his finger. In other words, he did not verbally say 700,000. Well, no. Maybe you didn't think it was 70,000 and you understood it as 700,000. Because it is true that Carl's income is 70,000 take-home pay. And yet, here you are making such a troublesome fuss. I don't want a husband like that anymore. Oh my. Well, I don't want a lying daughter-in-law either. Then divorce it is. Or rather, I'm divorcing you both. Yes, perfect. Then Carl and I will be happily living together in this 4-story house he bought for us. No. The house will be returned to its real owner. What? Return? The real owner? Charlotte? What the hell is this? Your brother came to me and told me to get out of his house. Oh good, he came. What the hell? That house was bought by my brother. Huh? My brother Kevin had a desire to own his own house from an early age. He worked hard at part-time jobs since he was a student in order to buy a house. Although he is single, he got his own home at the age of 26. The house Carl told you he bought that you both moved into? Yeah, that's my brother's house. What are you talking about? But when it came time for Kevin to live there, the timing was not good and he was transferred to a regional branch office for a period of 3 years. While he was away, it seems that Carl stole that spare key. What? I don't know what you heard from Carl, but this is the truth from my brother. I had came to maintain the house, do some weeding in the garden, clean up the house, and etc., and instead found that someone had taken up residence. Of course he would ask you to get out of his house. What am I supposed to do? Why don't you just leave? It's obvious that running away or hiding will not help you. Well then, you tell your brother, give this house to me and Carl right away. Huh? He's my daughter-in-law's brother, so he should listen to his wife's family. What you are saying is absurd. Me and Carl, we're not a married couple anymore. What? I submitted the divorce papers to the government just a while ago. What? Carl hasn't even filled it out yet. I filled it out. What do you mean? Carl resigned from the company he was working for 6 months ago without consulting me. What? I was going to work a full-time job for a while, and in the meantime, I was going to have him try his best to find a job while having a part-time job in between. But even after a month had passed, there was no sign of him job hunting. He would occasionally go out for a short-time job or a day job, and the rest of the time would just laze around. I thought, this is wrong. I made him write the divorce papers with the promise that if he didn't find a new job in the next 5 months, we would divorce. The deadline has passed, so unfortunately, we're divorced. Well then, is it true that Carl takes home 70,000 yen? Is it true? Why don't you ask him for the figure yourself? I'm no longer his wife, so I don't want to interfere with your financial situation. You know, I think my brother called the police. The police? Of course he did. You're sitting in someone else's house. Please get out of my brother's house as soon as possible. That's all I have to say. Charlotte, wait. Goodbye. Sis, how have you been since then? Yeah, I've decided where to move, so I guess the first thing to do is to pack. I see. Speaking of which, what are you going to do with that house? You got stumped before you could really live there, so... Oh yeah, that's why I called you. The land in that area is going up so much that we're going to be able to sell it for almost as much as we paid for it. Oh my! I got a fee for the inconvenience, and when my transfer is over, I'll look for a better place to live. I see. I'm glad to hear that it hasn't been a negative experience for you. I'm so glad. You'll have to start from scratch again, but good luck. Thank you. I'll see you later. I'll come visit you at your new place when I get out of the busy work season. I'll see you later. See you soon. After our phone call, my mother-in-law was taken home in a police car with Carl. My ex-mother-in-law's uncle, who came to pick them up from the countryside, took them home as they were. My ex-mother-in-law was told by Carl that he had lied to her and told her that he had never bought a house. They had a big fight every day because she mistakenly thought that his monthly salary was 700,000 yen instead of 70,000 yen. My uncle was furious and told her to go to work, and she finally started looking for a job. Thanks to this, peace prevailed upon me. Furthermore, I was offered a full-time position at the company where I was working part-time. I was able to start my post-divorce life with stability. By the way, a few months later, my ex-mother-in-law stormed into the apartment I was moving into and started breaking things. The landlord demanded compensation for damages.